and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs.
You guys been playing that Halo 2 lately? Drinking that Mountain Dew? I've got people, just so many pizza roll knockoffs, so many Mountain Dew knockoffs. My voicemail box is full of these people trying to sponsor me in Halo 2, and I'm just like, now I'm holding out for the real deal, baby. I'm trying to get that MTN DEW sponsorship, that Game Fuel, the Doritos. I'm trying to get all three. The trifecta.
Are you Twitch streaming Halo?
No.
This is one of the rare conversations where I get to sit out.
No,
Same, because I can't play Halo right now.
And you know what? I feel good for not knowing what any of this bullshit means.
You don't remember Halo 2 when it was popular?
No, I was getting pussy at the time.
No, you were not. No, you were not.
Jesus.
Too busy.
Scott, I did remember on the last record, actually, I think you were were you drumming your fingers on your desk?
Or something, or tapping my foot, yeah. Hey, you want a musician on the podcast? You gotta feel the rhythm, baby.
You're keeping the time. That's good.
Ooh, feel the rhythm. When are we watching Cool Runnings?
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme.
The biggest let's
watch Cool Runnings another time.
Why do you guys watch, not just bad movies, but movies that nobody's interested in hearing people talk about?
Who said this?
My wife and my family today, when I was video chatting with them.
Wait, sorry, what did they say?
They said, why do you watch movies that nobody wants to hear people talk about?
I don't accept that this actually happened.
It did happen.
I think this is you saying this.
No, it happened.
B,
you fed this to him, Kel.
Yeah, you definitely prompted this. You were like, we watch all these dumb movies that Marty wants to watch and no cool movies that I want to watch. Yeah. And they're like, Kelly, you're right.
No, you wrote that in your mom's Mother's Day card so you could hear her say it out loud.
I did an inception on all of my family members. And then I was like, next time we video chat, I'm going to record it, and I'm going to bring it up on the podcast during the start.
Well,
you know what, Kelly? You know what's funny, Kelly?
What?
You know what our least popular episode is?
The Goofy movie one?
No, Pop Star.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's because that movie
for me. That one
was robbed. It just mirrors the public's
it does. Yes, it does.
Misconceptions about that movie.
Goofy movie, huge success. So, you know what? I was wrong about a Goofy movie. I'm willing to admit it. The
people want it.
The people want our opinions on it, apparently, which is perplexing to me, because who cares?
Oh, no, they needed it.
But then again, our opinions on Sausage Party, my word.
Oh, man. Is that what we're going over right now? Or is it next?
Wait till next week, gentlemen. Wait till next week on that.
Excuse me.
Hard Day's Night.
Welcome to Spoofs, Goofs, and Novelty Songs.
A podcast about dumb shit.
Episode 43.
Kelly, you were saying something.
Is this episode?
Kelly?
No, I don't
Kelly,
think...
you were saying something?
Hard Day's Night. We're talking about Hard Day's Night. We're talking about the Beatles movie, Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
This week, we're reviewing A Hard Day's Night, a 1964 musical comedy directed by Richard Lester. The film portrays 36 hours in the life of the famous rock band, The Beatles.
Now, it was certainly a musical, but comedy?
I thought there were funny parts.
Nope.
I thought there were funny parts.
Yeah, it's just, oh my God. It's, British people humor is it feels like it's from another language. It makes sense in its original tongue. It's, you know what I mean? It does not translate to my brain. I do not get why which parts of these were jokes. Which parts were the jokes?
If only I spoke English. If I spoke English, I would understand the jokes.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
Queen's
what?
English.
I think the problem probably wasn't that. It was that it was by the Beatles. That's what I think.
These guys are freaks, man. The stuff they think is funny, and they're pretending to be all... We'll get into it.
Yes.
Marty, do your intro.
The film is a tongue-in-cheek look at the lives of the band and the mania surrounding their popularity, and is a series of sketches and skits. It cost about $200,000 and made back $11 million. It was a big hit. It's considered a great British film. It's considered a great film in general.
Oh my god.
It was made by United Artists, who basically wanted the rights to the soundtrack. I don't think they cared about the movie quite so much. They were attempting to milk Beatlemania for all it's worth. And the last little factoid before we can start: United Artists tried to get them to dub over the voices of the Beatles because they thought their accents were too difficult to understand.
Oh my god!
What the hell?
And Paul McCartney was just like, no.
Wait, they wanted them to dub over the music parts, or just the ADR the whole fucking thing?
Them speaking,
Just
I think,
them
anytime.
speaking.
Oh.
Just them doing
Their
it.
Liverpool accents were too thick.
But then the
at
shit
stage
they're
time.
saying, they'd be like, "Oh, he's a right tosser, he is." Like,
So, gentlemen,
Who's your favorite
Yes.
Beatle? Finally, we get to talk about it.
Ooh.
Who's your favorite Beatle? I mean, besides
We have
Paul,
not
of course.
addressed
Who's your favorite Beatle?
we have not addressed this on the podcast before.
yeah. And then we have to do Fuck, Marry, Kill, Weird Al, Sacha Baron Cohen, and who's that Jewish man?
Little
For
Dicky?
fuck's sake, just the
Mel
king
Brooks?
of spoofs. Yes, thank you. God damn.
Brooks.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
Well,
Who's
me
your favorite
neither.
Beatle?
doesn't that seem more pressing? Why is you're acting like this is like a thing we should have said already, and I just don't see how it's relevant to the podcast. For some reason, this is the one issue I'm a purist on.
No, it's because we have talked about this before, because we've covered like so many Beatles-related things already on the show.
When?
I just want to know if your favorite Beatle is Paul, George, John, or Ringo. That's all I want to know. Who's your favorite Beatle?
All right, Kelly, if I tell you, will you shut the hell up about this? Stop giving me the
supposed to.
third degree here.
You're under oath right now. I just want to remind
Oh my
you.
god. Well, if you must know, I'm like wiping sweat off my brow right now.
You got a lot of listeners.
It's Paul, baby.
All right. Good choice.
Thank
Kelly,
you.
your pick?
Paul, because it's the correct choice.
Mine is a two-way tie between
Oh,
Paul
shut
and
the...
Ringo.
No,
on.
no.
Wrong.
Hold on, let me finish.
You can't have a two-way tie.
It's a two-way tie between Paul and Ringo because they're both alive still.
And you think it's a moral sin to be dead?
It's like a contest. It's like, oh, they outlasted, outplayed.
Everybody
they
who
survived,
died
baby.
is a little bit selfish, right? Like, oh, you want to have a funeral.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
asshole.
How dare you? Speaking.
You know what? My first thought on this film. John is the most irritating person I think I've ever watched on camera.
Yes.
I thought he was like pretty good at acting, but maybe he wasn't acting. Maybe he was trying to be real.
I thought he was. See, like, I thought overall the movie did a really good job of like kind of tweaking their personalities and like making fun of the public's perception about them. But him in particular, I just thought he was so obnoxious. Every single
think-
scene is like, I was just wanting to punch him in the face. I was so angry with him.
When there is
I know,
something like
but-
infuriating about it, and it's
Yeah.
like whenever I think of like the Beatles' sense of humor, I think it is like mostly him. It's what I hate. What I hated the most, and what made me like the most like confused too, is all their little non sequitur jokes where they're just, again, I forget what like example I use, but they're, I'm the Bishop of Greenberries, or like, what the fuck are you saying? Like it, like, or is that like British slang? I can't fucking tell if like anything means anything.
It doesn't. It was just supposed to be a wacky, fun, whimsical movie. I think that's, I don't know.
When John's
think that was the goal.
taking a bath and I think he's like pretends he gets bombed or something and then sinks and then they're like, come on, we got a car waiting, let's go, where's John? He's in the bathtub. He pulls the plug on the bathtub to drain it. John's not there. I don't know. It's like, what's going on here? What's happening? What world is this rooted in?
It's zany.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was just like they just like wanted to cash in as much as possible on their success. So they were like, let's make a movie. We'll release the soundtrack as side one of the album A Hard Day's Night, which they did. We'll put a bunch of terrible songs in the movie, which I really hated a lot of the music in this movie.
There's some good
I
B-sides
think
in
the
there.
songs are all
The
right.
hits are all great.
I think the songs are okay, but like the lead into them, where they would just be like, "All right, we're gonna play it right now." Let me. This song will cheer you up, Ringo. Like, oof, I just fucking did not like that, and I did not like a lot of the imagery that went along with the songs because it was just boring.
The imagery,
yeah, just the film that went along with it. Like, it was just boring. It wasn't interesting to look at. But
what do you mean? When they were playing their guitars and like looking at each other?
Yeah, fucking lame. I don't know. Do something cooler.
And then like one of them would like make a face, and they'd be all like, "That."
Yeah,
we're having fun.
Yep. Yeah, you're nailing it. That was uninteresting to me.
You know what's funny is, and I actually agree with this sentiment. The movie is considered this like, it's considered like extremely well directed because he was just like the director of the film, just constantly was trying to come up with different visual gags to do, which is why they have so many like all those like bird's eye shots, all of the like helicopter stuff. Like he was just like throwing anything at the wall to make the movie more interesting, and I think it works. Like I actually think the movie was like visually fun.
I think it ran at a nice clip, especially for a 60s movie. It was paced pretty well. I wasn't bored really, but I honestly, like some of the musical numbers did kind of drag. Like, man, if it was anybody but the Beatles, then they couldn't have pulled it off. And the other thing that was really hit or miss was just all of the the written and, like you said, like visual gags, like everything that they planned I really enjoyed, and then like maybe a third of the improvised shit I liked, and then the rest of it was just like unintelligible like garbage. And like, it's again, luckily if it were anybody but the Beatles, luckily like their personalities like are charming enough to like make it work, but they're really relying heavily on that, and it's like, yeah, my least favorite stuff about the early Beatles, like with this, or like if you like watch any of their concerts, is like there are moments, at least to me, where it seems like they can tell they're being cute and they're like fucking digging into it, and that I find really cloying and fucking annoying. Yeah. And it undercuts what's great about them, which is like the fucking skill as musicians and songwriters they have.
Yeah. Like the George Harrison, he goes to the, it's like an ad company, and they think he's a lookalike of George Harrison, and he's like playing into that sort of, that whole scene is just like, it was so, like...
What are we doing?
Smug. Yeah, smug and waste of time. It's just like this wasn't a funny enough idea. This was a waste of just your money, honestly.
Yeah.
But... the best part of this movie, by far, in my opinion, the reason I think the movie works and why I actually found it to be like a fun time is the Paul's grandfather character, which I did not know that was like so much of the movie.
What did they keep saying about him? That he's clean.
That he's very clean.
Again, is that slang, or do they?
No, I think it's just supposed to be funny. Like, he's a clean old man. Like, I think that's just a really funny way to describe an old man.
I want to talk about Ringo's first line when they're introducing the grandfather.
Okay.
Do you guys remember
Kelly,
this
you go
line?
ahead, but I have some thoughts on this as well, but you go.
The line is, I don't know what leads up to it, but I know what the line
It's a funny
that Ringo
joke.
says.
It's a funny joke. You can tell because he laughs right after.
Yes.
Ringo is very bad in this movie, by the way.
I think he's great in this movie. I think he's
okay,
really good.
But boy, his first line is insane. That they didn't have any better takes than that, or like were they trying to save time in the final cut of the movie?
Yeah, he's like,
what?
Look, it's Paul's grandpa. Ha ha ha.
That's
the line exact delivery.
The line is, well, if he's your grandfather, who knows? Ha 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 ha. But he delivered here. I'm just sending the clip. His delivery of it is insane. It's
Hold
fucking
on,
nuts.
I'm gonna watch it. We could probably play this clip.
No. The Beatles took us down last time.
So.
I think if it's 2 seconds of somebody talking,
we can probably. Ringo says, "Well, if he's her, I can't even do. Well, if he's your grandfather, who knows?" Like. He didn't even finish the question.
And it's the fakest laugh in the world. But I think his acting, I think he's actually very charming the whole rest of the movie. I think he kind of carries the whole rest of the movie. It's just that first line where he fucked up real bad.
His little waltz was pretty, like, not fun to watch for me either. Like,
what was the waltz?
Just him, like, walking around town and, like, He was chased
like,
by girls
morphing.
at first. He puts on a trench coat, and then
Yeah.
that's like when the cops start following him and mark down all of his hooliganry.
I didn't think any of that worked.
That was
I
boring.
found that to be the most uninteresting parts. Like, I really did just want it to be more of the grandfather getting into trouble and
Yes.
Paul being exasperated with him, because that stuff was so good the
Yeah.
whole time. That as a concept
Paul-
for a movie was a really
Paul
clever
being
thing.
exasperated with him, but constantly being like, "Here, you watch him," like to everyone else.
Like, that was
Where's
so
my
good.
grandfather? Like, I don't know.
He's constantly upset that everyone else has lost him, but
Yeah.
it's like you're taking no responsibility for this. And also, why? He's just an old man.
Yeah.
Like, let him go.
And also, he looks like maybe 48.
Right?
Yeah, he doesn't look that old.
I think he's also the only, like, he was, like, a major casting. I forget the actor's name, but he was, like, this, like, well-known British actor at the time.
Yeah.
So he was, like, a big cast for them kind of move. Boy.
Well, should we
Yeah,
rate it?
I'm giving this movie a lot of shit, but I also think like for the time, pop culturally, I'm not surprised it made a ton of money. It was like the one
Yeah.
way that you could kind of see the Beatles in concert because they weren't really touring after this. If I'm not,
Yeah.
or if I'm
No, they were touring
correct.
up through
They were still touring.
Rubber Soul.
Okay, well, still, it was just like a way for people to be able to see them because I mean,
Because
were
they got
sought
help after this mofo, too.
And, like, I don't know. I think this movie, like, I mean, it's kind of a defining, for this type of movie, this is, like, clearly very influential to, like, your Crossroads or your From Justin to Kelly's. I mean, like, really
It's
good
true.
cinema.
It is like a pop movie. Like, yeah.
For sure. Like, Spinal Tap, I think Spinal Tap rips off so... Like, the whole crux of Spinal Tap...
Yeah,
is
that whole part
basically
where they,
this
like,
movie.
looked and sounded like the Beatles.
yes,
And
They
Spino.
were more, like, Sex Pistols, right? Like, that was...
No, well, they just were like... We talked about this in the Spinal Tap episode, where it's like
Yeah.
how, like, okay, they must have been a band for like 30 years at this point, because they show them as the
Right.
Beatles, and then I think they show them as a punk band. Yeah.
As a spoof, I guess.
I mean, I'm trying to think if there's more. I think kind of to what Kelly was saying about the performances where they like kept trying, like the musical performances like had 1 foot in reality and like 1 foot out, kind of. Where, like, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, look, a stage. Let's play a song on it, and it's like.
yeah.
This is a very inefficient way to have a practice, 1 song at a time on 90 different stages.
And they
I
were
actually
like,
didn't mind
they
that,
had,
but
like,
they didn't go anywhere from there. That was
Well-
the first thing they did, and then they just did that the rest of the movie.
Right,
Like,
because
I
they
really
were
wanted
like,
them to-
Well, you
You're
forget the
about
part where
to
they're
miss
running
your-
around in a field all funny.
Yeah. You're about to miss your 5th rehearsal. What's going on? Where's your drummer? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that shit was...
Don't you know I'm the exasperated sweater man?
Yeah.
and he was very exasperated.
Mm-hmm.
Which, let's hand it to the Brits as far as comedy goes. They do that well. Martin Freeman or whatever.
Exasperation.
Oh my God, when that guy gets exasperated,
It's his whole career.
look out. Yeah.
6 out of 10.
There it is.
Not overly spoofy. It's mostly just kind of tweaking the thing they're trying to make fun of. But I think it does a good job of that. I think it makes fun of their personalities enough, and it especially makes fun of Beatlemania. Like, all of the tricks they used to get through the crowds and stuff were super funny, I thought. Like, they literally like put a huge box over them and they just bowl over whole crowds and stuff. I thought that stuff was all great. Like, I think them making fun of Beatlemania, they didn't do it a ton, but they did it enough.
When they like go through they go. Oh, I don't know how to explain this. They fucking walk in. They go into one car door and then out the other side
Yes.
of the car into a second car.
Yep.
That was good.
And they leave, like, one of the guys behind accidentally. Great. That's what I want in a spoof movie. As a movie itself, 7 out of 10. An enjoyable romp. I was so surprised by the grandfather character. I did not know that's what this movie was. And I loved everything with his character. I thought it was so enjoyable.
What was his
if you
thing?
cut-
Just like being like Irish and shit.
No, his thing was he was, like, a rapscallion. He was just, like, he's a little shit.
He's a
he
little
just, like, kept
scamp.
wanting to... Yeah, he wanted to get in more trouble. I loved it. It was a great idea. And which is such a simple, stupid joke, like, old man who's weird, right?
Wily
But, like,
old man.
They nail it in this. They nailed it. So 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Wow.
Kelly, would you like to go or shall
I
I?
say like 4 out of 10 is a spoof. I don't think this movie is any more of a spoof than a Goofy movie is, but
I agree.
This is the bar now? Oh, my God.
I think
I mean,
a Goofy movie is more of a spoof than
I
this
think
movie.
it is too.
Oh, my God.
I think if this movie came out in 2000, would it have a Matrix bullet time effect spoof in it? I don't think it would. I don't think it would. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty low. It's got to be under a 5 out of 10 as a spoof if it's not going to throw in that
I don't know.
bullet
Could
time.
you see like Ringo throws his drumstick at Paul, and then like Paul has to lean backwards to.
Yeah.
You know what's nice? I like knowing which episodes you guys actually listened to, and I always know which ones because you always both reference them the next time we record.
We're trying to create a consistent universe on this podcast.
We're world building here.
Yeah, this
Good.
Absolute silence.
these are not
world
single
building in
arc
progress.
episodes.
Yeah, I don't know. And it was like, for me, I don't know. If you like the Beatles, 10 out of 10. If you don't like the Beatles, like still probably 5 out of 10. Why don't you like the Beatles? They're not that bad. Come on.
As a spoof, I don't know. It's like I would give it a higher rating as a comedy than I would as a spoof. But like as a spoof, it's like
Exactly.
fucking I don't even know. Like
Thank
1
you,
out of
Scott.
10. What's it?
What are we
There's
doing
making
here?
fun of-
What is happening?
God.
What
We
do you-
haven't watched
Marty, tell
Best
me
in
what it's
Show
making
yet.
fun of.
We haven't watched
making-
Brian. Go ahead.
This is a
It's making fun
cacophony.
I hate you both. It's making fun of Beatlemania, like very clearly making fun of Beatlemania.
Oh, is
All
it
right.
clear? If it's clear, then how come 2 out of the 3 of us didn't really see that, Marty?
Well, because we didn't grow
Two-
up in the 1960s like Marty did.
2 of the 3 of us are dumb as shit. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, look to your left and look to your right.
I did. I didn't see anything.
As a
That was-
spoof, 2 out of 10. Fine. It's I definitely laughed. I liked the goofiness of it, and yeah, I guess making fun of Beatlemania or like they're almost like making fun of their fans a little bit.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
definitely making
Stop
fun of their
chasing us
fans.
around.
Yeah.
The Beatles are always getting chased. This is like almost like okay, you know what? It's like a 20s movie, like. Because there's a scene, it's like
Oh my
whatever 20s
God.
movie where like the cop with the billy club is like chasing a robber and they like run from one side of the frame like around to the other, like that kind of shit. Like
Benny Hill. It's the Benny Hill thing, or like a Scooby Doo kind of.
yeah, they come out of an urn and then they come out of a different urn, same hallway, 2 urns, 1 hallway. So okay, all right, fine. 3 out of 10 is a spoof, and then
Wait, no one convinced
Wait,
you.
you just kept going
increasing
up.
the
I
You
convinced myself. Party. This is an open dialogue. I'm walking you through my process.
Well, you really peeled back those curtains.
Now let me work, motherfucker.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And then as a movie, we'll say 7 out of 10. Very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
All right.
There you have it.
Let's talk about Fred Willard for a second. Should we have a moment of silence for him? He wouldn't want.
Who's
a
that again?
moment of silence. Scott, come on. Come on, Scott.
He was
Help me out.
He's like a Christopher Guest regular, so you've seen him in like
He's
you saw
the
him in
judge
Oh,
in
that
Best in
guy?
Show. Yeah.
Oh my god. No.
He's the boss in Anchorman, yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Jerry
Yep,
Stiller in 1 week.
Yep. Lynn Shelton too, very like renowned indie film director. She died yesterday too.
Mumblecore director.
Yep. Made Hump Day. It's what people know her for, I think.
Brutal, man.
Man.
This week's
Yeah.
been
Rough
brutal.
week for death.
Yeah. Also, the thousands of just like non-spoof celebrities.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not gonna. Oh, you mean those made-up deaths trying to increase the numbers for COVID?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, you're right.
More
But
like
maybe if we tell
Movid.
Trump Fred Willard is gone.
I don't think he died from. I don't think any of those.
No,
deaths
that
were
was
from
all-
COVID. Actually,
They all died peacefully, is what I was told by their obituaries.
well, you were told.
That's what I read.
The coroner came and talked to you.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. I can't believe you guys weren't.
At
I'm
all
a
three.
renowned spoof podcaster.
Kelly,
What's
are you
the
admitting to
commonality
being
between these deaths?
I was there.
you
I
a
was
serial
supporting
killer,
them. I was
Kelly?
holding their hand throughout it.
Oh, okay.
My favorite
He's a
part
death
about
doula.
Fred Willard dying is that he was in. Oh my god!
This is a crazy premise, so you better have something good. Your
Well,
favorite part
okay.
about this man's death, you freak.
He was just in a sketch on Netflix, the Tim Robinson
Yep.
series.
Uh,
I think you should leave.
you think you should? Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And he was
Kelly,
an organist
I'm
at
your
a funeral.
co-host. What's wrong with you?
What is?
I want to
dude,
stay. I want to do
let me
this
finish.
episode with you guys. Don't say that to me.
Oh, God, I hate it.
Hey, Scott. Scott, I think you should leave.
Okay.
Anyways, he was in a sketch, so a lot of people were sharing the sketch of him where he's a funeral organist, but he's playing one of those wacky sound effect funeral
Oh
organs.
yeah. All right. That is. You know what? You followed through. Fair premise. Fair follow through.
Scott,
Yeah.
do you have a novelty song for us this week?
Yeah. Do you want to hear it?
Well, I would love to. Yes.
Do you want me to talk about it? Do you want me to clumsily read through my notes and say and a bunch?
Yeah, I'd love that.
Oh,
Please.
don't worry. I'll keep all of it in.
All right. Well, I have two. And I don't know which one to start. I'll start with the okay. The first song I'm going to talk about from 1964 by a little fella. We've heard him on the podcast before. Goes by the name Alan Sherman, famous for Hello Mutta, Hello Fada.
Okay.
He's got a little number called Pop Hates the Beatles. And so I think you can get the premise just by listening to it. So why don't we...
Besides, I broke the old one in half. I hate the Beatles. She says they have a Liverpool beat. She says they used to play there.
The audience back then just laughs when you can come up with a rhyme, it feels like.
I purposefully copied down the lyrics because that was going to be my main observation as well. Like, yes, just if you have like a unexpected rhyme, that's the joke. And then also just like, I guess they all agree that they're all mad about. See, to me, this is like the equivalent of like me in high school being like mad at just the existence of Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? It's like it's such a specific but very real like sect of curmudgeonhood to just be like mad at pop stars for like does everybody
successful.
need to listen to fucking Primus or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Fish.
Primus
or
is
whatever.
your example
Yeah.
for like cool indie bands.
Well, it's
Primus
just like-
is my example for like what the guy who like is like super fucking pissed off about Justin Bieber thinks everybody should be listening to.
Yeah, like why aren't you listening to these other cooler people? And I used to be
Yeah.
like that in
Like Avenged Sevenfold.
Yes, of course. I think we all have our moments of that where you're just like, why is this a popular song? And
I've like really, because I'm calling myself out here 100%. I used to be one of these like anti-pop curmudgeons. Now
I
I'm
know
just
you
like,
guys made fun of
it's
me
all
for
good.
listening to the Ting Tings.
Yeah.
but you're
I'll
not
still
cool,
make fun of
Kelly.
you for listening to. You want to talk about car commercial music, motherfucker?
You're doing it for nostalgia now more than anything. Back then, it was real.
Yeah, of course. No, I actually didn't. Because, Kelly, I always made fun of you for liking bands that I also liked.
Yeah. Makes
There's,
sense.
If anything, it was self-deprecating of me.
Yeah.
There's Jesus Christ! I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, it's like I'm still gonna make fun of people for listening.
I remember.
To Fish.
Okay, there's car commercial music, and then what's slightly cooler is iPod commercial music.
Oh man, you gotta get that iPod commercial.
You got
music.
U2.
And I'm pretty sure
got
the tingies, them ting tings. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
They
pretty
had
sure they were.
Shut Up and Let Me Go was one of those, right?
Yeah. The Ting Tings, I feel like, is like honestly like a pretty deep pull in 2020. If you're like not us, like
Honestly, yeah.
No,
I bet many listeners hadn't
agree.
pondered the Ting Tings in quite a while.
You have to be a rare type of person to be watching to know what the Ting Tings are. You have to have watched VH1 back in the late aughts.
Or seen that iPod commercial, my friend.
Yeah, that's true.
which like tons of people did though. I don't agree with.
Okay,
your premise
they
at
saw the iPod commercial, but did they know it was the Ting Tings? Could have been any indie pop duo.
Could have been
They
anything.
Boy, I think we have to cover that song at some point on the podcast. I think at this point
It's
it
a
has to be
novelty
covered.
song to us.
Yeah,
You guys,
its popularity is novel.
remember when mashups were popular? I wonder if someone did
No.
like a Matt and Ting mashup.
Ooh. It would just sound the same, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much
It just
just
doesn't change.
just a good song. I guess I agree with you, Marty. Just a good song.
It's just a good time.
She says they have a Liverpool beat. She says they used to play there. 4 nice kids from Offada Street. Why didn't they stay there? See-
And then people laugh, and I don't get it. It wasn't that funny of a song. They were fucking wrenching their guts. The audience
It was like that with Hello Mother, Hello Fada. They like when he rhymes Camp Granada, everyone like chuckles so crazily, and I think it's I think it's fake, right? Like I think it's a laugh track, right?
No,
Probably.
I think it's real.
I would assume it's a laugh track.
I think it's real.
And then can you believe that they got together
think
like a
it's
whole
real.
fucking like orchestra to make this shit happen?
Oh my god, yeah. Did you hear the marimbas? Wait, no. What's the big drums that it's unnecessary to have so many people
Snare.
drumming them?
Marimba.
Is it a marimba? All right, cool. I'm a
Bass
genius.
drum.
I'm pretty sure.
Timpani.
Timpani. I think
Timpani, that's
what
it.
I'm thinking of.
Marimba is like the wooden xylophone thing. Yeah.
See, I'm not actually stupid.
Yeah, I'm
Marty-
actually stupid.
You're the only one who's ever said you're stupid.
Yeah, I've never said
implied
Marty
it.
is an idiot.
I've always said, Marty, believe in yourself. Which just like, I usually say that right after you say you're stupid.
Thanks, Kelly. Oh boy.
So yeah, that song's great. Good stuff.
Oh wait, there's another one. Hold on,
Good
hold
tie-in.
up. All right, I guess we're done with that. Alan Sherman, he's a big '60s parody guy. I'm sure we'll talk about him again. The next song comes from another person we have discussed on the pod before. It's our friend from Funny Mystery movie, but not Clue. Funny mystery
Funny
movie, not
Mystery
Clue. Help me
Murder
out.
by Death?
Yeah, that one.
Wait,
It's
what?
Ooh.
Okay, isn't Peter Sellers right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played the Asian character.
He did Charlie Chan. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's back again with A Hard Day's Night. He was kind of friends with the Beatles. He had a comedy show on the BBC called The Goon Show that the Beatles liked, and they met and. Yeah, we're friendly with each other, and Sellers put out like sort of like a comedy EP where he's like sort of like William Shatner like act singing Beatles lyrics. So here we have A Hard Day's Night. He's doing it in the style of, I forget, it's a Shakespeare something. Laurence Olivier doing hold up. Richard III. Thank you, Marty. So yeah, let's hear a little bit of Peter Sellers rehearsing A Hard Day's Night.
You know I work all day to get you money to buy you things. And it's worth it just to hear you say, you'll give me everything. That's why I love to come home. 'Cause when I get you alone, you know I feel okay.
That bit is a slam dunk for me. That always works.
Yeah, I feel like I abuse that bit often. Like it's because it's hard not to do it when like you hear a lyric that I don't know. Yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah. When you speak it, it becomes insane to say out loud.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know. It's like kind of cheap because it's like, yeah, well, it's a different. It's like saying like, hey, look, this painting is such a shitty movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not meant to. Yeah, it works as a song because it's a fucking song. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that one. Yeah, I like that.
Kelly
that's
approves
cool.
the novelty song.
That's a cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
melody
His
song.
pacing is just funny too. Like him just going from like quiet to yelling is the best joke in
Yeah.
the world, I think.
Yes, it is. It always works.
If I may, was it a novelty song?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes!
god.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
peeked.
sure. No, it wasn't.
Technically not, but
Right.
I still love it.
But you have to tell if it's not a novelty song, then why don't you
But
tell
when
me
else
what
are
it
we
was?
going to talk about it on the cast? Never. This was perfect, Scott. You nailed it. 10 out of 10. You're moving on to Hollywood. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. To round 2. Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you, Simon. I mean, let's face it. I'm Simon. Am I right, boys?
That's true.
Yeah.
Man, I'm Paula. I'm definitely
You're Paula?
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
Randy.
and yeah,
You're
Kelly.
not
Of course
You're
you're
too
Randy.
positive.
Come on.
Of course I'm
very
Randy,
positive.
baby.
And Paula is I'm just checked out. I'm just here having a good time, you guys. I'm just,
Yeah.
that was so wonderful. I can't believe you guys did this so singing so good.
Yeah, he's on the oxycodone. Well, there you have it. That's little fun fact. If you look at the cover of his comedy EP, it's him in the makeup of all his various characters. And can you guess who's on there? Can you guess who's? Oh, I don't
His
know if it's
character from
Charlie
Murder by
Chan,
Death.
but it's he's doing it again, baby. Well, that's it.
Marty.
Marty.
Good stuff.
Marty.
Yes, boys. Yes.
Do you have a novelty product for us?
I do. This week's novelty product, the Animorphs book covers. So I'm sending you guys a link in the thread. So I picked this because I actually thought I had one of these myself, but I have re-releases which don't actually have the morph covers, which is the funniest part about this to me.
The funniest one
don't-
is always the second stage of the evolution where
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah.
slightly fucked up. Like,
Where it looks like a furry artist is trying to like draw
Mm-hmm.
themselves as a like whatever creature they like or they associate with or whatever,
Yeah.
but they
Well-
aren't that good at drawing.
We all remember the Animorphs book covers. It would show a teenager morphing into an animal over the course of 5 stages. It would be basically whichever one of the 6 main characters of the series would be on the cover transforming into an animal that they come into the book. Animorphs, of course, was a book series written by Kay Applegate and her husband Michael Grant, with the original run going from 1996 to 2001. The books were a massive success, leading to tons of spin-off books, a short-lived and terrible TV series, multiple video games, and the success was so large that Applegate had to outsource writing most of the books to ghostwriters and just like kind of polish them up with like redrafts and stuff. And the series revolved around 5 human teenagers and 1 alien teenager who are granted the ability to morph into an animal that they touch so they can combat a parasitic alien invasion on Earth. These books were my childhood, and everyone I know absolutely remembers these books because of the cover, which I think is like a huge novelty aspect to these books, that
Yeah.
the covers were so distinct. Everyone knew of Animorphs because of the morph covers. Mm-hmm. And that's my novelty product for the week.
That's great. It reminds me of Goosebumps, which I bet will be a novelty product some other time.
I think Goosebumps covers were also a big reason why they were such a big success.
Yeah.
Like, they were so distinct and memorable. And I think that's the same with Animorphs.
That and-
I think it was a huge draw.
Goosebumps also were choose your own adventures most of the time, weren't they? So
No,
Not most of the
they
time,
did,
but-
he did that with was it Fear Street maybe, or like one of the other spin-off series. He did like choose your own adventure stuff with that, but Goosebumps usually wasn't.
well,
So, gentlemen, I do have a quiz related to this product.
I mean, I'm gonna fail. I don't think I've ever read an Animorphs. I
I haven't either. We're on
the
equal
covers
footing.
cool.
it's okay.
Everything
you
else
won't need
sucks.
to. I have 4 Animorphs questions. I was going to do 5, but I couldn't come up with a good 5th question, so we're doing
so
4.
we could possibly tie.
You could tie.
I think what we should have done next time we do a book, do a reading.
I can grab one of the books right now.
No.
I've got the books over here.
Too late. We can't. We already.
Okay.
You already did the quiz. Let's go.
One of the main characters of the book is an alien nicknamed Axe, who morphs a human to blend into the like Earth. He blends in on Earth. His alien species before that did not have a sense of taste, so Axe became enamored with food. It's like a big plot point with his character that he just like loses his mind over his sense of taste. He falls in love with specifically one chain restaurant. Was that restaurant one of the following? Either McDonald's.
So wait, is this a yes or no question?
This is a just pick one of the 3.
Okay.
So, was it McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, or Cinnabon?
I'm going to guess McDonald's.
Kelly?
Dunkin' Donuts.
It was Cinnabon. You're both wrong.
What?
And famously, I think they actually tried to get Cinnabon to like do some kind of sponsorship with him, and they never did. And it was so funny because they're mentioned in like every single book.
I feel like that's the authors really. For some reason, if we look in that husband and wife's garbage, we're gonna find
Cinnabon.
box
Cinnabon?
after box.
Oh, yeah.
I forget. She did a Reddit AMA about this one time, and somebody asked her specifically about the Cinnabon thing, and I forget what her answer was. But question number 2: how many books were in the original run of Animorphs, not including the spin-offs? Closest one gets it.
60.
Kelly?
10.
54. Scott gets it.
No idea.
10? I said she had to get like ghostwriters and shit. After like 20 books, she got ghostwriters. But these books were not super long. They were like 100 pages maybe.
Good for a young adult.
Yeah. Scott is up 1-0. What was the first creature that one of the main characters morphed?
Horse.
Kelly?
Alligator.
Ooh, it was a pet cat. It was a pet
I mean, that one you got to give us multiple choice.
Wait.
for.
Yeah,
This is
hold on a
ridiculous.
second. And was the question what was one of the first? What was the question again?
What was the first creature that one of the main characters morphed? I added the main character because if I didn't say that, it would be like an alien creature. Because the first things we see morph are like a bunch of aliens and shit.
Oh,
So I said then the main characters. Final question. A big reveal in the final book of the series was where the series was actually taking place. Because, like, the whole conceit of the books is that the kids are speaking to you in code, kind of, because they... somehow it's believed that their identities could be discovered if they gave away too much information or something. It's very complicated. So, what U.S. state did Animorphs take place in? I'm going to give you a hint. A big recurring thing is that the Animorphs keep invading this one zoo in this city that they live in, because they keep having to get more like morphs. Like specifically, they get like what are called battle morphs. They get like a gorilla, an elephant, a
rhino.
grizzly bear. Exactly. So, what state do you think this took place in?
Florida.
California.
Scott gets it.
Yeah.
It was California. It's a big twist at the end of the series.
Wow,
That was
what
in
a
California.
twist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
how's
really
that a twist?
That's a
And
big
get
twist.
It's a big reveal.
It was in California. Nobody's from there.
Don't spoil it. I haven't read that far yet.
You guys got to start reading now.
No.
That is our novelty product for this week. And I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, that's our dumb show.
yeah.
It's our big dumb show. Big dumb show of the
Oh,
week.
it's not a...
Thanks for tuning
not a
in.
big-
Next week we're doing Big Fat Liar starring Frankie Muniz and
my God.
Amanda Bynes. And
All right, pop
Giamatti.
quiz, boys. What color was Paul Giamatti's hair in that movie?
It was blue!
No, his skin was blue, you
Oh
idiot.
my God, Marty, you're voted off the
Damn it.
podcast.
Damn it. Oh, well, I guess the podcast just isn't going to happen anymore then.
Hey, what do you think? You think me and Kelly can't do this without you?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying you won't do this.
Yeah, we
without
wouldn't.
me.
That's fair.
We would switch to something more fun and cool and listenable.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We really appreciate it.